Welcome to the channel. This is Stocks with Jacob, and today we are going to be doing technical analysis on SPY, NVDA, Tesla, Amazon, Meta, Apple, QQQ. There's so many I've got on here today. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as I can, and I'm going to throw a timeline in there in case you guys want to skip to what you want to see. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get through this disclaimer, and we'll jump right in with SPY. All right, so let's kick it off with SPY. What happened with SPY on Friday? Well, it finished the week out strong. As you can see, buyers stepped in when fell below this trend line and defended the level, and the bulls pushed it right back on up. So what are we looking at going into next week? Well, let's go ahead and pull a fib on this, and let's see what our levels are looking like. All right, as you can see, we pushed right up to this 0.236 area right here, and we got a tiny little wick with a rejection off of that. Now, is that anything to be concerned with? I don't think so. Let's check the daily out. It's a little bit easier to see on the daily chart, and let's see what we're looking like with this. So as you can see, we did end up with that rejection off of there, and we're kind of stuck in this little wedge right here. What I'm expecting for next week is a few different scenarios I'm going to be looking at playing out. First scenario is we start below this 592.60 area, and we end up pulling back down to check this trend line at around 587.30 before hopefully getting a clear rejection off of it. Now, if you know SPY, you know SPY likes to fake people out a lot. So I feel like we could end up with a pullback down to this 0.5 area or this 0.618 area before we get a bounce to retest this trend line right here. The other scenario is we start out above this 592.60 area, and we end up pushing right on up to test the high of this shoulder here, which is around 600, well, 601, 602 area. That would be the scenario I would like to see play out, which would technically make basically a double bottom here. And then we could probably see a rejection with a retest and hopefully new all-time highs by inauguration on January 20th. So those are the scenarios I see playing out right now on SPY. I'm going to be cautious on it. I don't think I'll be trading this Monday unless pre-market shows me something with price action that it's looking bullish, that it wants to hold up and continue to push. Otherwise, if it's starting below this 592.60, I'm going to be standing by watching to see how it reacts off this trend line, then how it reacts off of this 0.382 area. And if we cross over that, as you know, I'll be waiting to see if we're going down to 0.5 and then 0.618 area to get more liquidity. So let's go ahead and jump on over to NVDA and see what's going on with it. That's a beautiful green candle right there. As you can see, it pushed right up, and it's testing this Watson envelope. If you don't have this on your indicator, it's right here. Go ahead and search it, Lux Algo, Watson envelope. It's a great indicator to have. But as you can see, we're pushing right up and hitting that little resistance level on it. Let's pull a fib on it and see what it looks like here. I'm going to pull it off of this low from September, same low we were using with SPY, and let's see. As you can see, it pushed right above this 0.236 area. Now, if you remember on SPY, I was telling you I was hoping that it would start out above this 0.236 area on SPY and push up. This is kind of what NVIDIA did. Even though it didn't start above it, it started below it and still pushed up. It's still up here at resistance. It's kind of fighting resistance right here with these three candles. So if we can make it above that 146.34 now, we'll be looking at testing new all-time highs. What am I going to be looking for on Monday? On Monday, I'll be looking for a retest of this 0.236 area. Maybe come down and check this area before hopefully rejecting and coming right back up to close above this zone right here, this 146.64 area. If we can close above that, I'll be bullish on NVIDIA, or continue to be bullish on NVIDIA, I should say. We do have this nice little inverse head and shoulders going here, left shoulder and right shoulder. Here's the head, and now we're pushing up. Does this complete? I believe we are going to see a completion of it and have it come up here and test new highs. Will it continue to make a new high? That is to be decided. We'll have to see how it reacts off this level. If it comes up here and pushes down, maybe we get another rejection and a retest again, or maybe we could be looking at a possible pullback. It's definitely a possibility. Let's go ahead and check out the defensive areas of the market, and let's look at XLY versus XLP and see how that performed on Friday. That's a good sign right there. XLY going up and outperforming XLP. We definitely want to see this continue up for more bullish momentum in the stock market. As you know, XLY is consumer discretionary, XLP is consumer staples. And if you don't know what discretionary and staples are, discretionary is everything that you don't need that you buy, and staples is basically everything you need that to live off of. Whenever you see people spending discretionary, they're making it, and it means they're not fearful, they're making money, jobs are doing good right now, we're not looking at a recession. Let's go ahead and check out the US 10-year. As you know, we've been monitoring that on this channel, and that is also something we don't want to see push. And when we broke this resistance, it wasn't a good sign, and then we broke it again and we continued up. That's also not a good sign. This is something we need to continue to monitor. This is a bearish sign for the markets. We don't want to see this continue to push up. Let's go ahead and look at gold and see how gold performed on Friday. This is something we want to see that's bullish for the market. I do like gold, but gold is a defensive area. So if we start to see gold push up, then we know people are getting a little bit fearful. They're taking their money out of stocks and they're putting it into something a little more secure like gold. But we saw a rejection off of this, which is a good sign. So we're still going to be stuck in this little wedge here. So nothing to worry about right there right now. Let's go ahead and go on back over to SPY. And there's one more thing I want to show you on SPY with the Fibonacci retracements. Now, I play with these Fibonacci retracements quite a bit. So let's say we go off of this low right here. As you can see, we bounced off. If we do that, we bounced off of this 0.618 level. That's a great sign. You know, this is the golden zone right here to buy in. A lot of institutional traders use this as their buy-in opportunity right here, and it has been working out well for them if you go back in history and look at it. So we bounced off this 0.618 area, and look, clear start on the 0.5 area and a push up to this 0.382 area. So that's why I'm guessing that Monday we're going to end up coming back down to check this area possibly, or that trend line, and push back up. Now, a more bullish setup would be we just start right above this area and pump, as I said earlier. But I'm actually expecting the retest of the trend line before we continue to pump. That's my outlook on SPY. Let's go ahead and jump over to Tesla real quick. Tesla is looking nice. We got this nice green candle right here where it came below this Watson envelope and pushed right back up. Let's go ahead and pull a fib on it real quick. I'm going to go off this November 24 low right here, and let's see what it's looking like coming off of that level. And it's looking beautiful. As you can see with this golden zone right here, the 0.5 to 0.618 area, it was bought up pretty fast right there, and that is what you want to see. So right now, as of right now, Tesla is looking bullish in my opinion. We do have a possible double top going on here that may play out, but if it did, I would expect it to come back up here and at least check this neckline here, or possibly come back up like this and make an inverse head and shoulders. Wouldn't that be nice? So Tesla for the moment is looking bullish. I do like that it bounced off this 0.618 area. So we will be monitoring this one. As far as Monday goes, I'll be looking for a retest right here of this 421.18 zone. We'll see how it reacts off of it, if we get a rejection or not. That is kind of right at that neckline too. So I feel like that could be a decider on whether Tesla is going to continue to push or whether we're going to be coming down a little bit more to get more liquidity. I am bullish on Tesla with Elon Musk and Trump's relationship, as well as their Q4 sales were up. So Tesla is looking bullish in my opinion. Plus with this Watson envelope, as you can see, it usually comes down and touches it, and then it continues right back up, comes down and touches it, continues right back up. And we're seeing that right now where it came down and touched it, and now it looks like we're going to continue back up. So Tesla's looking bullish in my opinion, guys. But let's wait for a little bit of confirmation here. I know I don't like to say that too much because sometimes I like to just play, but we don't really have a confluence to go off of. If we have a confluence to go off of, like a trend line that's matching up with one of these fib levels, then I'd say, hey, I'm going to have my order sitting there waiting. But for right now, I'm going to wait and see how it reacts right here. See if we can make it above this 421.18, or if we might be in for a little bit of a pullback to retest this 0.5 level at 400.10. So now let's go on over to Google and see how it's been performing. This is again on the daily chart. Google looks like it could be in an accumulation phase. It does look like a nice little bull flag pattern here. Let's go ahead and draw a trend line on it and see what it's looking like. Yeah, you got this nice little bull flag pattern forming here on Google. So that's a good sign for Google. Let's pull some fib levels on it and see what the Fibonacci is telling us. We'll come off of this low from November and go right up to this high right here. According to the Fibonacci, it's looking like it's having trouble getting above this 192.61 level. As you can see, it's fought with it a couple times. It pulled below it, but bulls were there to defend it and push it right back up. And it is respecting this level. You can see quite a few little touches here where it just continues to respect this level. So this is a strong level here at the 192.61. We need to be watching this area. If it can't make it above this level, I'll be expecting it to come down and fill this gap right here. I'll be expecting it to come down and at least maybe get a bounce off this 0.618 level to fill that gap, maybe a little bit lower to fill it, which would be around 176 before getting a rejection and pumping up. It's already came up and made that high, and usually when we see that, it'll touch it again. Now that the next touch for this Watson envelope would be around the 0.5 area, but I feel like we do need to fill this gap in right here. So I would be expecting at least a quick spike down, maybe for a day or two, to fill that gap. That's my outlook on Google. I'll be monitoring price action. It's like all of these are at this level. It's like they're almost all fighting with the level, except for NVDA. Obviously, NVDA is looking really bullish right now as far as pushing up. So let's go ahead and check out Amazon and see how it's performing. And as you can see, Amazon also looks like it could be in an accumulation phase. Let's pull a fib off of this low right here, and let's see what that tells us. Look at that. Right at resistance again. What is it? All these, a lot of these are sitting right at this 0.236 area, just trying to fight past that. When I start seeing a lot of these stocks like this, I start thinking, okay, maybe Monday is going to be a little bit of a red day. Unless they all start above, and then we could be looking at a super bullish day on Monday. But when I see them all hitting right here at resistance, then I'm thinking we're going to end up having to come down and get more liquidity here. Do we see a bounce off the 0.382 level, or does it come on down to this 0.5 area and fill this little gap we got right here? That's probably more of a scenario I'm thinking about, is it comes down here and fills this gap in. And go figure, would you look at that, the Watson envelope is right there ready to catch it. So that's probably in my opinion, that's the most probable, is we come down here and we retest 214.16 and then maybe get a bounce from there to continue back up to retest all-time highs. That's what I'm looking at on Amazon. We are kind of in this little channel down right now. Not a big deal. I am bullish on Amazon. I don't know about you, but my wife uses Amazon like crazy. My neighbors use them like crazy. They're the only delivery I see out until late at night, and they're going early in the morning too. I love Amazon. Jeff Bezos knows what he's doing. Love that guy. So I am bullish on Amazon, but are we looking at possibly a healthy pullback? Yes, no problem at all. You know, healthy pullback, we come up, we hit the Watson envelope, and we hit the Watson envelope here on the bottom. Same deal here, hit it there, come back down, hit it here. So yes, I'm expecting, we've already hit it here, so I'm expecting it to maybe come down. Does it go down tomorrow and hit it? Probably not. Maybe though. Or maybe we just see it kind of trend down until it finally touches it and bounces. But I am expecting a little bit of bearishness out of Amazon over the next few days, just until we can gain some liquidity and find some buyers down in here and continue it back up. Let's go ahead and take a look at quantum computing, ticker symbol QUBT. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that bull flag. Oh, that's beautiful. So I've been hearing a lot about this one, so I wanted to put it in the video today, and I'm glad I did. This is a really nice bull flag we got going on here, and it's getting smaller by the second or by the minute. So let's see what it's going to do. Let's pull a Fibonacci on it. That's the hard one to pull a fib on, but let's go ahead and pull it here and look at that. It came down to this 0.618, 0.5 zone that we're talking about as the golden zone, and buyers were there to defend it. And now we're getting plenty of wicks off that zone. Look at that. I mean, they're not letting it get below 0.5. So this is a very bullish stock. What am I expecting for it? Well, obviously, I'm expecting upside for this one. This is a really nice chart. Do they try to fake everyone out and come back down to the 0.618 area before pushing it back up? Yes, that's a possibility. But I am bullish on quantum computing. Really, really liking this chart right now. Even though we did get a nice little wick right here, rejection off of the 0.236 area, that's okay. We're still accumulating here, and I believe big companies, big institutions are buying in here as well, waiting for that next push back up. So bullish on QUBT. I will be looking at a buy-in here, probably in this $16.53 range. But I may, if it starts out up here on Monday or next week, it's pushing this area, I may be looking at scaling in here for the retest of the 2697 area. So bullish on QUBT. Let's go ahead and take a look at SOUN and see how it's performing. I keep hearing a lot about this one here. And SOUN is, it's not looking too bad. I mean, if you're looking at it on this Watson envelope, it did just come down, you know, it remained above this line here, and now it came down and just tested this area here. But let's go ahead and pull a fib on it. As you know, guys, I love the Fibonacci retracement. Let's go ahead and pull this fib, and let's see what we got here. Nicely, this kind of looks like QUBT that we just looked at. Look at that nice little rejection right here off of this 0.618, in this 0.5 level. That's a good thing to see. That literally just happened with QUBT. Now it did come up and get a rejection off of this level, but as you can see, we came back down. We made a higher low right here, and it rejected off the 0.5 area instead of the 0.618 area. So this is looking bullish in my opinion. Yes, we did end up with a wick here where clear rejection off the 0.236 area, that 2211, but we were able to hold above Thursday's open, which is a really good sign as well. What am I expecting for next week? Well, I'll be expecting us to hold this $20.30 range here and be retesting 2211. If we can make it above 2211, I think we're for sure going to be retesting the $25 resistance area. If we can make it above that, this thing could continue right on up. But Sound is looking bullish right now, especially since we just bounced off this Watson envelope right here. So keep Sound on your radar, keep an eye on it. I think we could end up with some good buy-in opportunities right now. It's at a good spot. This is a bullish candle right here, and this one also is a bullish candle. We remained above Thursday's high, which is a really good sign. So let's go on over to Meta and see what it's looking like. Meta, just looking at the chart, it does look like it could be getting a double bottom here. It did just get a rejection off of this neckline, but that's normal. We could see it come back down a little bit and then a retest. Let's pull a fib on it and see how it's looking with the Fibonacci levels. I'm going to come off this low right here from November. It seems like we keep using this low on most of them. And let's see how it looks here. And as you can see, just like the others, we got a clear rejection off this 0.618 level. And another clear rejection off this 0.618 level. So that's a nice little double bottom scenario. The only thing I'm not liking right this minute is this little undecisive candle right here. We came right up to this 0.382 area at 604.48, and the market's like, I'm not sure if we need to be here. Let's go ahead and get some liquidity and see. So we could definitely be seeing a pullback down this 0.5 area, 593.88, and I'm expecting a clear rejection with a push up to this 617.59. So in my opinion, Meta is looking bullish. Let's see if we have any good trend lines here that we can go off of, and maybe we can get a confluence and get a better idea where to buy in at. All right, so that's kind of the trend line I was able to draw on it. Let's jump back over to the daily and let's re-pull that Fibonacci level and see what it's looking like, if we can have some confluences here that might play a good role. As we can see here, you know, we did bounce off this Watson envelope right here. We also bounced off of it right here. So we could be coming back up to retest here. I would be cautious that we got this little trend coming down here. So there is a possibility of it breaking off of that. And I'll be looking for a nice little confluence right here with this Watson envelope. You got the 0.5 area and this trend line coming together. This looks like, if this plays out, I'll be buying in big time right in this zone here for the bounce. So for Meta, that's actually what I'm going to be looking for. You know, it all starts with ideas. I like ideas. Usually when I have an idea and it comes down and that idea plays out, it's golden. It's a big winner for me. So the only thing that makes me think it might not come down to this confluence spot is the fact that we look like we have this double bottom here. So if that double bottom's going to play out, what I'm going to be looking for is a retest of this 0.236 area. Obviously, we just had this indecisive candle right here. So I'll be looking for it to come down, gain liquidity, and then come back up to retest this zone. If we can't make it above it, then that's when I'll be looking for the confluence here. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about with the confluence, I'm talking about where, you know, two indicators come together, two or more indicators come together. And we got this 0.5 area, nice level right there. As you know, that's a great buy-in opportunity. And then we got this trend line here. And we also have the Watson envelope that, if it did pull down, would more than likely end up right in that same area as well. So that's a trifecta right there, which is great for buy-in opportunities. If you think I'm the only one with this on my chart, I guarantee you I'm not. There's a lot of institutional traders out there who have the exact same thing drawn, and they're waiting for the exact same opportunity. So that's my outlook on Meta. I'll be monitoring price action. If we can make it above this 0.236 area, the 605.29, and close above it, then I believe we are going to come up here and possibly test new highs. But again, I'll be watching this little trend line based off of these little candles here to see if we can get above that. That is sitting at about 614. So if we can make it above that area and hold, then yes, I'll be pretty bullish on Meta. In the time being, I'll be waiting for this thing to pull back to this confluence right here, and I'll be having a buy order sitting there ready for the bounce play. So let's go on over and check out Apple and see how it's looking. Oh, that actually looks beautiful. Just looking at it right here, we have this touch on the Watson envelope and another touch at the bottom of the Watson envelope. So this is looking beautiful to me. You see what happens sometimes when this touches it, it just fires right back up. Let's go ahead and pull the fib on it, and let's see what the Fibonacci levels are looking like. We are almost at this 0.5 zone. I would expect it to at least come down and hit that, but we are at the Watson envelope as well, so that may not happen. Also, you've got this 0.618 area at 235.16 that it could test as well. And we have seen it come below the Watson envelope a few times. To me, it's looking bullish though. We had a clear rejection off the envelope here and another rejection off with an indecisive candle. So we could be looking at a reversal here and it to pump back up. I'll be looking for it to stay above 244.70 and close above 244.70. If we can do that, you do have a little bit of resistance right here with this little wick and these here. So that is a strong level there. If we can close above that, if we can get above 250, it's looking bullish. But for right now, we've got this 244.70 area that we need to make it above and close, and then we'll be heading up to the 250 area to retest that zone. So Apple, in my opinion, is still looking bullish. Let's go ahead and draw a trend line on it just to see if there's a confluence on Apple that we can take advantage of. All right, so looking at the daily with this trend line, I don't see no noticeable confluences. If we were over here, I would say right here would be a great one, but we're not over here yet. And that is around January the 14th is when we'll be in that area, January 13th. It's not far away, so yes, we could end up range bound right here. But, and if we do, obviously I'll be looking for a buy-in right there at that January 13th, you know, sometime in that zone. Otherwise, if this is an indecisive candle showing a clear reversal, then we want to see Apple remain above 244.70. We want to see it close and remain above 244.70 with a push up to about 250 area. That's the bullish scenario on Apple. Like I said, I don't see any noticeable confluences right at the moment other than this one that's around January 13th. If we do pull below 239.87 before then, I'll be looking for a bounce off this trend line or maybe a quick spike down to the 0.618 area before we get a bounce. That's my outlook on Apple. I haven't traded Apple in a while, mainly because Berkshire Hathaway sold all their Apple, and I like to follow him. Obviously, he knows a lot more than I do about stocks, and If he's selling all his Apple, then there must be something he knows. Otherwise, let's go on over to QQQ and see how it's looking. QQQ's actually looking really good. As you can see, right off, it's bounced right off this Watson envelope here, and it's bounced off this Watson envelope here as well. And it's looking like it's starting to continue up. Let's go ahead and pull the Fibonacci on it. We're going to come to this, let's come to this October low here, and let's see how it looks. All right, as you can see, it's looking really good. We had a clear rejection off this 0.618 area, and look at that confluence. Oh, wish I would have picked that one up. You got the Watson envelope coming down and just touching this 0.618 area. That's a really good confluence right there. Great play if some of y'all were able to get in on that. So push down there, and then we saw it start up here, came back down a little bit, didn't quite touch the 511 area, this 0.5 area, before pushing up and holding above this 0.382 area. So in my opinion, QQQ's looking good. It's almost like a double bottom scenario here. What can we expect next? Well, I think it's going to come up and check this neckline here, and we'll see what happens. If we get a rejection off of that, that's no big deal. If we get a rejection off of that area, might see it come down and retest this 0.236 525 area before continuing up to test all-time highs. So QQQ is looking bullish in my opinion. Let's see if we can find a trend line with another confluence on it, and maybe we can get another buy area, good buy zone to be looking at. All right, so there's the trend line. I was able to kind of draw on it. Let's see what we got here. I don't see anything noticeable as far as a confluence that I would be buying in on somewhere at the moment. So for the time being, what I'll be looking at is for this to push on up. There is one little confluence right here that could be a good buy-in scenario. So if we see this push up, maybe come up here and get a rejection and come down here, I'll be looking for a buy-in right in that area that's sitting at 517.21 and looking to ride the reversal right on up to this 525.30 area. So that's my outlook on QQQ right now. It is looking bullish to me. I like the chart. It's not at a spot where I would technically buy in yet. You do have a kind of a little trend line coming down right here, and go figure is right at that confluence. So that's something to watch right there. If we're going to be pushing up here tomorrow, I'd be looking at that 524.75 area, 525 zone for a possible rejection off of it. If we can push up above that, then that's going to be really bullish. So that's my outlook on QQQ, guys, and I think that pretty much does it for today. If there's any stocks that you want me to take a look at and chart on, draw some trend lines, some Fibonacci levels, and let you know what I think could happen with it, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. I'd be happy to look at it for you guys. Other than that, I hope y'all have a great week. Stay cautious out there. Don't overtrade. Don't feel like you have to trade at the moment. Remember, Mondays can be tricky. They can be sideways. They can be bearish days. I do like that almost on every chart, the Friday's close was above most of the Thursdays and Wednesdays highs. So that's a bullish sign for me. So I am actually expecting Monday to possibly be a bullish day for that one reason. The only other flag I see is that a lot of these charts are sitting at this 0.236 area. Obviously not QQQ, but things like NVDA, or actually not NVIDIA. What was it? And SPY, I believe, was sitting there right at the 0.236 area, and there was a few others sitting there. So that's the only reason why I think it could possibly be some red in the market on Monday. But like I said, Friday's high was above Thursday's and Wednesday's highs. So that's actually a bullish sign for Monday as well. So I'll be waiting, monitoring price action. You guys stay safe. Don't, make sure you throw your stop losses in there. Don't overtrade. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back at it Monday night with another video.